Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Enya Music Inspire guitar. So this is an upgrade, a continuation, if you will, from their Go Sonic series of guitars. The thing that set that guitar apart, and I have previous videos on that guitar, I'll have a link to if you want to check those out. But the thing that sets it apart, it has built-in speaker and effects and amp modeling. So you can basically take your sounds on the go without the need for an amplifier, cables, or anything like that. And we're going to go over those functions. We'll talk about everything about this guitar in particular, and talk about what sets it apart from the previous version, the Go Sonic. Right out of the gate, I will say that Enya Music did send me this unit to review and check out, but this isn't a paid video. I'm not getting paid to do this, so all the opinions you're going to hear are my own. Also, I should mention that it's springtime in North Carolina, which is where I'm at. It's pollen season, and as you can probably hear in my voice, I'm struggling a little bit. It is what it is. Sorry for the kind of gruff and gravelly voice. I'm going to do my best to get through this. It is what it is. So anyway, let's take a look at this guitar. Okay, so basically right out of the gate, you'll notice it's essentially a super Strat type of setup. You've got a Strat style body. You've got two single coils and a humbucker in the bridge. You have 24 frets, a 2-point tremolo system. This particular model is kind of it's a matte finish, but it's in gray, has rose gold hardware with a gold covered humbucker pickup. It really, like when I saw it in pictures, and even I'm sure as you'll see it in this video, like it looks good, but seeing it in person is a little different. If you have the chance to see it, like it really is a pretty stunning looking instrument, if I'm being honest. So basically the body is more or less one piece carbon fiber composite materials. You got again 24 fret, but you've got an exposed truss rod adjustment there. You have a basic 5-position switch. But you also can pull up on the volume knob, which will turn the humbucker and the bridge from parallel to series, which will give you a little more of a Stratty sound if you have that pulled out. We'll take a look on the back. Nice, very smooth heel joint, very comfortable to play. The neck is actually an asymmetrical shape, so it's very comfortable up and down the neck. You have an adjustment here. If you want to adjust the spring tension, you can do so without taking the back off, which is pretty cool. It does also have a 0 fret, which is a nice feature. And to be honest, this is now the third guitar that I've taken out of the box and played from Enya Music, and literally I just tuned them up. This one actually came with elixir strings, which is a nice little extra. But anyway, I just take them out of the box, tune them up, and they're good to go. I don't have to do anything to them. They're very stable. I think part of that is just the construction of the body being a composite. It's just a very stable instrument. So hats off to Enya Music. They're doing a good job of building some good guitars. Now, as with the Go Sonic series, you have basically 4 presets, or 4 banks with 4 presets in each bank. So you have a nice wide array where you can program your own sounds. You have the amp model. You can either have a clean or drive model. Clean is more or less based on the deluxe reverb. From what I can tell, the amp model that's distortion is like a Soldano SLO. You also have a post EQ after the amp model, which is very, very powerful. It can really, really help shape the sound and volume. You have a modulation block, noise reduction block, delay block, and a reverb block. Pretty much all the essentials you need to get by. So let's talk about what makes this a little bit different than the Go Sonic version. Right out of the gate, you have a little more power. This is a 15-watt amplification system versus a 10-watt. Gives you more volume, a little more dynamic control. It really does sound quite nice. In addition to that, you also have a compatibility with their Bluetooth foot switch, which gives you 4 buttons, so you can control the 4 on-tap presets with the foot switch versus having to tap the button to go through it. So if you're playing live or in the studio and you don't want to have to cycle through presets by tapping the master button here, you can just use the foot switch. It's very, very convenient. So if you were going to play, for instance, live with this, you could just show up literally gig bag with this guitar in it, your 4-button foot switch with your presets already good to go, and that's it. Your rig is done. You're ready to go. It's really cool. The other thing they've changed from the Go Sonic, which is actually really nice, is you have presets loaded when it's just the guitar running through the speaker. But then also, if you plug in the guitar with a 1/4 inch running either to a recording interface or to an amplifier, it accesses different banks of presets. So what that allows you to do is you can set up and have your presets that are dialed in to sound the way you want them to sound on the speaker, and then you can have your presets dialed in the way you want them to sound running through a recording interface or an amplifier, which is really, really handy. On the Go Sonic, I found myself, I'd have it dialed in for the speaker, and I would just kind of save additional presets off to the side, so to speak, in the bank. So if I was going to record, I'd just swap those around. Now you can just you have completely segregated presets, so you don't have to do that. You can just, when you're plugged into the cable, you know what you're going to get. When you run through the speaker, you know what you're going to get. Now, as far as connectivity, you have the same feature set as you did with the Go Sonic. You have a 1/4-inch jack for a standard guitar cable. You have an 1/8-inch jack for headphones. Both of those will turn off the speaker if they're plugged in. You also have a USB-C port, which is for charging, as well as you can do recording through that port, which is really nice. You can also stream Bluetooth audio from your mobile device through the speaker while you're playing the guitar, which is, one of the things I mentioned on the Go Sonic. So much fun because you can actually pull up backing tracks and play and practice and even do performances if you want with having everything running through the guitar. There's a mixer section on the app that lets you set the volume of the guitar presets against the volume of the Bluetooth audio, so you can get everything balanced out really nicely, which is a really great feature. So we talked about the features, and that's all great, but if it doesn't sound good, what's the point of any of that? So let's listen to the guitar. I'm going to just have some microphones in the room. They're going to pick up the audio, which I think will give you the closest approximation to what the guitar sounds like when you're sitting with it, which is really kind of a cool experience, because the first time you hit a chord, at least my reaction every time I pick this guitar up or the Go Sonic is I turn around to look to see where the amplifier is, because it has the same feel of playing with an amplifier, but it's just coming out of the guitar, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to do a little bit of noodling around with the clean sound, some crunch, some distortion, and then lead sound, all being switched with the remote foot switch. Super convenient. So let's see what it sounds like. Okay, so there's kind of my first take on the new Enya Inspire guitar. Obviously, I'm having quite a lot of fun with it. Really enjoying the onboard sounds. We'll go into a little more in depth in the next video. But one thing I'll mention that I did mention about the Go Sonic is if you have too much volume and too much gain, you can get into some feedback, and it can get into some unwanted feedback, which is the same as if you were standing in front of a really loud amplifier. Like, it's just kind of the way sound works. But I haven't really spent enough time with this to know and compared A and B to see what the difference is. But I will say I am able to get a little more functional feedback, as you heard with the kind of higher gain stuff. It's a little more of a musical style of feedback, which I'm really enjoying. I will say you do have to kind of watch your volume. You can always, as guitar players, we always want to be loud. And what's past loud, we want to be even louder. We want to go to 11. Yeah, this goes to 11. So you have to kind of watch your volume. And if you get some of the squealy, not musical feedback, you may need to pull back just a little bit to adjust. But, I hope you could tell, like, I'm having fun playing this guitar. And that was what I always said about the Go Sonic, is fun. And so I look forward to spending a little more time with this and doing a little more of an in-depth review video with it as well. If you are interested in this guitar, there's going to be a link below. It is an affiliate link, so it's a great way to support the channel if you're interested in one of these guitars. And right now, it's the month of April. They just launched, and you can get $100 off as a special for the first month that they're offering these. That's my understanding. If you want one of these, take advantage of it, man. That's a killer deal, $100 off. So anyway, there's a lot of different finishes. This is the one I happen to have liked. It's kind of the matte gray. I think they're all matte finishes. But anyway, I like it. I like it a lot. If you have any questions about it, let me know in the comments below. And until then, I'm just going to keep jamming and having a good time with this thing. So please like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys. And until next time, we'll see you.